This guy tried to fix the Les Paul. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. When it comes to the internet, the Gibson headstock gets a lot of hate because it doesn't have what's called straight string pull. What we're talking about here is how the strings leave the tuners and they come in at such a sharp angle. Many guitar players like to bend their string, and when the string comes back, it needs to go back to the exact same position. And if your nut is not cut correctly, this jagged angle can make that not happen. That's why it's quite common for people to go, the G string never stays in tune. Examples of manufacturers that have the straight string pull: Fender, on pretty much all their models, as well as PRS. Now there are ways to fix that. A, you could have your nut cut properly so it doesn't affect it. Or B, there's things out there called a string butler that you can install underneath your tuners that give you that desired effect. But our main topic tonight is from Bob's Gear Bazaar. He decided none of those options were good enough for him. He was gonna change everything. Here's what he did. Oh my. Alright, let's explain it. Unfortunately, this is the only photo of the face of the headstock that we have outside of this far away shot that we can zoom in on. We'll have to do most of our dissection from the back. So he's taken a regular Gibson Les Paul standard, filled in the existing holes, and made 6 brand new holes in this kind of staggered pattern. Now that we know about the whole straight string pull thing, you can understand why the pattern is the way it is. Now maybe this is just a bad photo angle. These strings don't look perfectly straight, so I don't know if that modification was a good idea or not. But it looks like he went through so many different things because that's not the original tuner. I think he tried these tuners in the regular positions before but got fed up. And if you're not familiar with what these weird UFO crazy tuners are, they're Steinbergers. Gibson has used these stock on a few different models, and they used to be ridiculously expensive on the used market. Like, people were paying at auction $400 plus. Now, thankfully, Gibson actually has them in production in their shop. Now, whether they're available or not when you're looking at this, that's a different story. Like, example, chrome and gold are all out, but they've got all the black ones you could ever need for $120. But these are ridiculously good 40-to-1 ratio locking tuners. There is a little bit of a learning curve to them, and they're not my favorite to use in the world, but I like that he also had to cut a little bit out of the truss rod cover right here to make the tuners fit. And he seems to have done a pretty decent job at doing some sort of a finish touch-up to make it not look completely awful. And from this angle, the headstock doesn't look too bad, but I guess now that I know to look for it, it looks like you will also see the remnants of that job here. But what's kind of funny is it almost looks like a Firebird headstock, and sometimes Gibson used to use these tuners on a Firebird. So that's the biggest elephant in the room. But my friends, we're not done yet, because the whole reason I even clicked on this listing was because I saw this. It's like, what is going on there? Did somebody really? Yep, they did. Quite a few PRS models utilize this. Instead of it just being a knob on the guitar, they actually sculpt around it, just so it doesn't drag on it, and maybe it's an ergonomics type thing. It's especially visible on this model. But no, somebody decided to do that on a Les Paul, only on the tone knobs for some reason. Now, is the staining job the best? No, but, it's a player's guitar at this point. If you want to do weird stuff like this, go all ahead. Imagine my surprise when I click on that and then I find out about the headstock. But that's not all he did. He also went for roller saddles on the bridge. I'm not having any type of vibrola. I'm not sure if that's really gonna give him too much benefit. I've seen people argue that yes, there is, but maybe it just comes down to playing styles. Are you stretching the strings, doing weird harmonic stuff? In that aspect, yeah, I could see how a roller bridge might be slightly beneficial. But that's what's cool about this. This is a super ultra player's grade guitar. It's got character, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie, I did try to buy this to review and document as soon as it was listed 7 days ago, but it started to get popular on the internet. So I figured I might as well just make my video and be done with this one. But he's asking $1,750, which is a good $1,000 off a regular stock one. Serial number dates it to 2021. It's probably about a $1,500 guitar at this point to the right buyer. My interest in this one was simply to document his interesting take on modifying a Les Paul. I mean, at this point, you might as well just modify it to a double cut or other crazy modifications. But we're not even done yet. Since everything else has been accomplished, he actually shaved the heel down just a little bit. Not full-on access heel carve, not really going crazy, destroying the structural stability, just enough with a little bit of red crayon thrown on it for good measure. but he's also including the original pickups and the original pots, the original nut, all this good stuff here. Unfortunately, we don't have any look into the control cavity, but now I'm curious, did he have to do this not because he wanted it PRS style, but because he accidentally ordered short shaft pots instead of the long shaft ones? Yep, reading down here, sure enough, those are push pots. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, and it's the Seymour Duncan 59 and Jazz set. So if you're thinking that's all too crazy, I forgot to tell you about another modification. The stories just go on and on. It's got stainless steel super ultra mega jumbo frets on it. Oh man. I think now it kind of makes sense if you're okay with the whole headstock thing. And you have to have the stainless steel frets. Those look like they would last you a long time. He's also plugged the original hole for your pickguard. Yeah, that's a cool guitar in my opinion. Inventive, maybe a little bit too crazy for some people, but hey, it's not like he has this thing up for $3,500 or something like that. So go ahead and make Bob an offer. I know he was waiting on shipping boxes. But we've got some time left tonight. Let's hunt Reverb. Looks like SMG just recently listed a Music Zoo exclusive Explorer. Just looking at the headstock, I can tell it's a custom shop. But Explorers are usually unbound, so we've got some shenanigans going on here because it does have the binding. And from this photo angle, usually Explorers don't have flame maple tops either. They're just straight up mahogany bodies, so that explains why we've got the binding and how this one might be special. It's a little bit plain looking, but you could just say it's like a Mark Bolan style guitar, just in Explorer format. But I was looking at that fretboard trying to decide what's making that look different. It's got regular trapezoid inlays. Oh wait, Explorers aren't supposed to have those. And traditionally they don't have binding along the neck either. So yeah, that tells us all we need to know there. But it looks like that serial number takes it to 2014. And oh, hey, we've got backplates back here. That's why it also looks strange. We don't have a pickguard on it. And it looks like somebody once moved the strap button to the back of the heel, probably so their strap wouldn't fall off, but then somebody else filled it in and just put strap locks on it. This seller is located in Indiana and is asking $5,900 for it. Next up, Joe's Vintage listed this, a bronze burst metallic Les Paul custom. This is not an original finish, this is a mod collection guitar. And I thought it looked familiar. It's because I actually owned this guitar at one point in time. We had unboxed it about 2 years ago. However, I didn't do the full review and documentation because apparently I was really overwhelmed at that point in time. I fully understand that. I'm pretty much at that point again. So I just unboxed it and let it go to its new home. I don't remember who I sold it to, if it was this guy or not, but guitars change hands all the time. But being 2 years old, it no longer has the factory warranty with it. But if you're interested in picking it up on the Rebound, it's for $5,600. Speaking of guitars I've reviewed on the Rebound, Eddie's Guitars has that transparent ebony Lucille Legacy model. This thing's so cool. I'm tempted just to buy it back because they just dropped the price by $1,000. However, if you watch it, they're going to send you a private offer for $4,700. There's no way they're making money on that. So I thought I'd point it out for somebody who wants to get it. Because I think their big issue is they just call it transparent ebony instead of mod collection one-off. Because these things are $7,000 brand new without having the custom finish. I think I sold it for pretty close to that. And this one just looks really cool in person. Like you can see the marbling of the silver finish. I mean, if you're going to buy one of these things anyways, I think this kind of modified silver burst one's pretty cool. But you can check it out in this video here if you want to learn more. And if you go to any of my videos and click on this Reverb link right here, that's an affiliate link. I'll get a small commission on anything that you end up purchasing, regardless if it's a guitar or strings. It's a great way to support the show without having to spend anything additional. Next, I saw this cheeky listing. It's a Firebird 7 by the original owner for nearly $28,000. I don't know too much about the market on these things, but I thought the editing was funny. Pop them in and out of existence here. They did a pretty good job of slicing them out of that photo. Although I think technically this is against Reverb's rules. In a few different ways, actually. They do not suggest watermarks, but they're not going to ban you right away. They just won't actually promote your listing as much. I think this one also falls underneath this. You can't add text, graphics, borders, collaged images. I don't know if I fully understand that one, because here's the thing, Reverb only allows 25 different photos, and a lot of times for condition type stuff, that's just not enough. I miss when Reverb was new and they had unlimited photos, because I'd have like 60 different photos up there to show every nick and ding, scratch, etc. But I can understand why they had to limit that. But this is one people miss all the time. You cannot use previous dealers' photos. So say I bought this from Joe. I can't use his photos again. Now, why is that? Because that stops scammers from downloading these photos when they didn't actually buy the guitar, make a fake listing of this, say it's only $10,000, need to sell because my wife wants to get married today. And if you continue to think that's just dumb and you should be able to do that, imagine if people just started putting random people in every single photo. It just gets too distracting. And I like how clean Reverb looks, for the most part. So just some friendly listing tips for you guys today. But alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.